Good morning, everybody. If you don't answer, my time is going. So please answer. Good morning, everybody. Everyone who has met me have various descriptions about who I am. So by the time I'm leaving you here today, you add yours to the list. Some call me the parrot. Some call me the gab. Some call me the oracle. Some call me by my chieftaincy title. They didn't add that to my profile. Some call me by so many things. But be rest assured that by whatever you call me, anywhere you see me on the road, I will respond. It's allowed. I may not be able to recognize your faces, but once you call me by any of those names, I'll definitely turn. It's my pleasure to be in ABSU today. This is my first time in ABSU, so it means a lot to me. And like I was saying to one of the speakers, for me, it's not about the crowd. It's about impacting one person. And so I believe that if I impact one person, that person has an assignment to impact 10. 10 impacts 100. And then we change the world. Is that not so? So this morning, I'll be speaking on crafting your digital identity, navigating personal imaging in the digital space. I already had so many things to say while I was on my way to ABSU. But getting into ABSU, I changed what I was going to say. And that's because I experienced lots of things before I got into the hall. And so it has changed my message a little bit. So what is personal imaging? Oftentimes we confuse it with personal branding. Personal imaging is the noun. Personal branding is what you see later. I don't know if we understand that. So it's something that is built over time. Personal branding. Personal imaging is what am I seeing now? And I saw lots of things when I was walking in. I'm going to give you a quick example. I said my message changed a bit when I came in. And so I see, let me use my speaker as an example. I see Chidinma now, right? What am I seeing in Chidinma? She's smiling, she's well-dressed, well-composed. She has teeth on 101%. But when I was walking into ABSU, as young people, I know we'll say we're students, it does not matter. Our identity does not matter. But it means a lot. So there are so many people here, so many people who catch bullets. Sorry, I don't carry you for mind, come here, but that's why we are here, to share ideas and make sure that we effect change at the end of the day. When I was walking in, I saw so many people with slippers. So many people are coming for an event, and then they are not on 100% talking about composure and steez. Why? We are young people, and that's why it should matter. Like I will tell my team at the office when work is coming to close, I don't you know you're a young girl? My friend, go and powder your face. And that's because I believe in personal imaging. I don't know if we understand. I believe a lot in personal imaging. So I'm a very conscious person when it comes to me and when it comes to those around me. Personal branding is something you do on the long run. But personal imaging is what you are seeing now. I meet you, and I have my conclusion about you immediately. That's personal imaging. And now I've been hearing about you, and all of a sudden I've painted a mental picture of you, and I see you, and you're wearing slippers. And some of us don't even pay attention to our looks. I know we are a work in progress. But talk about being a better version of yourself intentionally. So I want to quickly chip that in. Like I said, my message changed a bit when I was coming in, because we are all here, to learn. You must be conscious with your appearance. Because like some people say, what we see is what we get. It may not be 100% true. But how about I judge you by first impression? Talk about so many things in young people. There are so many young people, you meet them, and they don't pay attention to their fragrance. They don't pay attention to their looks. Smelling hairs, body odor, and so many things. All those things come together to build your brand. And so what if someone identifies you with the person with the body odor? How do you feel about it? You're now known as the brand that carries body odor. And we know that it takes a long time to build a brand, but in minutes, it's gone. So you must be conscious about your imaging. How do people see me? Before you leave your house, look at the mirror and say, how do I look? How will people perceive me? If you're not getting 100% up there, you go back and redefine your look. You change it. You do better. You don't have to wear designers. I'm wearing a made in Nigeria. So you can choose to look better, craft a better version of yourself in building your brand while managing your budget. That's something I always say. I welcome somebody putting on rubber shoes than somebody who is putting on a slippers to an event. Think about that again. And this is why I have a problem with, especially ladies, walking into a room and your slippers is doing pakam, pakam, pakam. One, you've distracted the audience. Two, your slippers may have parked potopoto on the road. We are in Nigeria. But the person who is putting on a shoe looks better. Today we're going to be talking about innovations, how to navigate entrepreneurship with our professions and all of that. But you cannot build a successful brand or a business when there is a problem with your image. And we know that people meet us. We've met people. I'm sure you've met people you just saw and you say, I don't like this person. And that's because their image do not appeal to you. It could be that there's a turn-off. It may be language. It may be expression. It may be a lot of things. But something must have informed your decision about that person. And so we must do better with our imaging. We are all a work in progress, of course. But like I said, how about being a better version of yourself? I always say something. Personal imaging is not vanity. It's empowerment. If you don't live here with anything, always remember that. When you invest in your imaging, it's not vanity. It's empowerment. I think it was Richard Sanchez that said the greatest investment you can make in yourself, is investing in yourself. And then my favorite quote from Alvin Toffler says, the illiterate of the 21st century is not the one that cannot read nor write, but the one that cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So while we listen to the other speakers, speak to us today, let's open our minds and learn, unlearn, and relearn. So I'll quickly go through my slide. Personal imaging, I'm sure we've seen it. It talks about how people see you online and offline. It's a reflection. I'll go straight to the costume we wear, the language we speak, and digital footprints. It's actually digital footprints. It's actually a broad topic, but I'll do my best to touch the most important places. And so going to language, these days we have lots of young people, who, they sit with you and there's a turn-off immediately. It may not be intentional, and that's why I'm trying to address that. You sit with young people, you're already interested in their ideas, their goals, their vision. And next thing, you're talking to somebody, next thing, the person will say, mad oh. That's a turn-off. For you, for Gen Zs, it's not bad. I don't know if you understand. But you're coming to discuss business, you're sending me a grant, you're sending me a proposal, you're coming for a meeting, and the next thing I hear is what? Say it now. We all say it now. People cannot say it again. And then you say, mad oh. There are some I've even heard. Do you know that? I'm going to just say this as an example. I was talking to a member of my team one day, and she said, Ma, be calming down. It's not supposed to be annoying, right? I'm supposed to just calm down. But that's wrong on all levels. So we need to be careful of the language we use. And the only way is learning how not to use them. I don't know if you understand. We are here to discuss how to even build professional careers by what will be taught today. But then, like I said, your imaging is important. Building your brand is important. So you must be careful of the language you use while building your brand. For you, it may not be a problem. But imagine over how many people, million people in the world that are listening to you at that point, that is looking at what you're doing. I was going to say at the beginning of my presentation that Google yourself and let me see what you find out about yourself. These days, if you're someone who is not, you've not grown so much in the professional space, You may not find press publications about yourself. What you will find is your LinkedIn profile, Facebook, Instagram, right? The moment you put in your name. Now, how about you put in your name? And the first thing I see is a twerking video. How do you feel about that? Even you yourself, you will not be proud of yourself. So we need to watch what we contribute to. Because all those things come together to help people decide on how they see us, our image. And then it affects our brand. That's why I said imaging is more important when it comes to building your brand. Because you may put out a very clean profile, beautiful, do copy and paste safe. You know, there are people who do copy and paste online. They just go and pull someone's profile and come and build their own. And you're seeing it. It's all, but you will need to defend that one day. Because why we are building profiles online is because we want to meet people. We want to connect with people. We want to grow our businesses. We want to do a lot of things. But how about that person now meets you one-on-one and say, oh, let's have a meeting, let's connect. And then the person quickly Googles your name. And then the person is in a twerking video. I'm not saying it's wrong to twerk. It's a very good exercise. I'm not against it. But I'm saying, must you put it online? Must you record it and put it out there? What is your intention when you're putting it out there? So always put it at the back of your mind that anybody can choose to Google you right now, and then the person finds a disappointing video about you. I've had collaborations in the past. I've closed businesses without even meeting my clients. And why? That's because I always say, it's not about the likes you get. As young people, we may be concerned about the likes. If you follow me on social media, you even see I don't have up to 1,000 followers. But I've closed businesses based on my profiles. I've connected with people based on my profile. And that's because when they come to look for you online, what does your image say about your brand? Everybody is a brand. So you don't need to have a business before you say you have a brand. You are a brand. Say to yourself, I am a brand. So the moment you have that at the back of your mind, that you are a brand, what you decide to do with yourself is what matters. So I'll quickly go through my slide. I was going to share my evolution, my story with, everyone. Because I was also looking at young people saying that they are talentless. We all have talents. Growing up, I hated baking. I hated sewing. In fact, I hated everything. I could not do anything. But there was one gift I had. People used to call me one lecher. In fact, they still do. And so I sat and decided to transform myself. Move from being identified as a gossip, as a storyteller, and then I became a better person. I took courses, I began to model myself, and here I am today. So there is something in you need to identify. There is something in every one of us we need to identify. So I'll close by taking some words of affirmation. I don't have enough time to go through my slides, like I say, but I'm hoping that they get to share my slides from the event with you because my time is up. So I'll quickly move through all of that. Let's have the slides. I'll quickly move through all of that and then we'll wrap up. I've talked about personal imaging versus personal branding. What you mirror. When you look at the mirror, what do you see? It helps you build your brand. It helps people talk about you. Please, let's quickly have the slides move up. So you can get to the last place. I've talked about language. I've talked about dressing, appearance, what you do on social media. As much as possible, let's try to invest in ourselves, in our looks, in our appearance. And you can do that by being authentic, practice self-care. I talked about hygiene, body odor, and all of that. Establish brand. So we're going to take this affirmation and then we'll close. Let's go together. Nothing can dim my light. I'm constantly evolving. I possess an incredible identity. I embrace the beauty of diversity. I shape my digital narrative with intention. So let's begin to be intentional about what we do, whom we are, and how we project ourselves to the public so that we can build better connections, foster long-lasting collaborations that will do us good, and that we even live after we've passed on. Thank you very much.